Hello, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing a series of videos here, and I want to keep everything real. I don't want to do fake stuff or comedy or whatever. I like to think some of my videos entertaining, but I don't do. I'm not doing a lot of comedy. Most of my stuff is pretty set and concrete real. I had a friend of mine who kept bugging me to do conspiracy theories, so I'm doing conspiracies proven, or whatever. I mean, I'm only doing stuff I can prove, or that can be proven. And then he kept bugging me to do Bigfoot and UFOs, so I did a video on those just to shut him up. And I didn't take a stand, but I presented the evidence for it, and that was that. And then the other day I heard of an interesting story. Before I get to that, let me give you some context. Back in 2004, the aircraft carrier Nimitz, American aircraft carrier, and her battle group, they were off the coast of Southern California, and they were doing drills, they were training exercises, things like that. And one of their ships, I want to say it was the Peterson is the name of it. It's a destroyer. It's an Aegis destroyer. That thing has Aegis radar, which is the best radar in the world. You can't get any better. It's top of the line. There's no I don't know. I don't think there is a way to beat that radar. I mean, if you can get past that, you're damn good. Okay. Well, it's top of the line. Period. And so they started picking up these groups of unidentified flying objects, and they kept seeing them over and over and over successive days. So eventually they kind of got fed up and sent out some FA-18 Hornets. I believe they're FA-18s. They're Hornets, and they sent out a Hawkeye, which is the naval version of an AWACS, and it's carrier based. And so they went out there and they saw these things. They got clear gun camera footage. They look like little Tic Tacs, but they're large, like the size of a I want to say the size of a jumbo jet airliner, but they don't have any wings, and they're darting around. And the one airplane is a Hornet was flying. I think it was a Hornet was flying, and one of them came up and got right there next to it, and it's right there. So then they were trying to turn to get it to where, because the guy's yelling, we're engaged, and he really spooked the pilot. They were scared. And so the pilot turned and was trying to get his nose to where he could get a shot at this thing if he needed to. And this thing just shot away from, over the horizon in the blink of an eye. When the and then one of them went over and started messing around with the Hawkeye. And they got a good view of it. It was right there, and then it just shot away. I mean, it was right there. They could see it. It was clear as day. It looked like white porcelain, looked like a big Tic Tac. And no wings, no visible means of propulsion. I mean, it was there. They saw it. When everybody got back to the carrier, the Nimitz, they were isolated. They were told this didn't happen. They were signing agreements not to speak, blah, 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 blah. The gun camera footage and all the other footage that they took of it was confiscated. Some of it apparently was leaked because we know about it, And it was an interesting story. You can look it up on YouTube. I want to say it's called the Nimitz Encounters. Just type in Nimitz UFO. You'll get all kinds of videos about it. Well, yesterday or the day before, one of the two, the U.S. Navy said that those videos and photos were never supposed to, they weren't supposed to be released, and that they are genuine. They're real. Our Navy pilots took real photos of real UFOs. That is both exciting and scary for a number of reasons. Allow me to extrapolate. Those were real objects. They showed up on radar. They were engaged. They weren't actually fired on, and nobody fired at each other, but they were in a dogfight, essentially, with American aircraft. Our pilots were scared. The adrenaline was pumping. They were at one point, the carrier asked them, "What armament are you carrying?" And they said, "We're just training exercise ammo. That's it." So it was a serious event. This is not a joke. This was serious. Okay, and the Nimitz is top of the line. It doesn't get much more serious than the aircraft carrier Nimitz. Okay. The Navy has come out and said that it's real. That event did happen. The gun camera footage is correct. It's genuine. It's not faked. That's real. So now here's the question that we need to ask: are they from Earth or not? If those aircraft, and I'm going to use that term loosely because we don't know what the hell they were, because they were acting with intelligent decisions, making turns, evading and avoiding, investigating. I mean, it was intelligent control. If those aircraft are from Earth, we need to find out who the hell has them, because they're not us. And if somebody else has them, holy crap, we're up shit creek. Our Hornets, you got to see the videos. Check out the videos on YouTube. They're astounding. Our planes didn't have shit on those. We had nothing. Okay? Those are some of our best pilots and some of our best planes, and they had nothing. Okay? Those things treated us like tinker toys. We had, nothing. If those things wanted to at any moment, they could have taken our guys out, and we couldn't have done a damn thing about it. Okay? So if they're from Earth, we need to find out who has them and get some for us. Because the next time we go to war, serious war with someone who has this type of technology, we're screwed. We're done. We got nothing. Okay? They're gonna slap us around like a toothless crack whore. And we got nothing. Okay? Here's the other part of that question. If they're not from Earth, where are they from? And why are they here? We have literally hundreds of years, thousands of years of UFO sightings to go by. If 1/10 of those things are true, real, not hoaxes, then there's some significant questions that need to be asked and answered. If they're here and they're just studying us, we hope. If these things are the limit of their technology, or even the lower limit of their technology, we got nothing. We can't stop them. They could come in and take all our shit, and all we got to do is put our hands up, because we can't stop them. Their technology is so far advanced of us, we may as well be using water pistols. One would hope an intelligent species that's studying us would realize the potential that humankind has, and take that into account and help us, nurture us, get us up to where they are, welcome us into what is evidently a galactic community. I'm extrapolating there because I've heard a lot of different stories. I like a good UFO story as much as the next person, but I didn't really put a lot of stock into them until very recently. And then this announcement by the Navy confirms everything that people have been saying in a nutshell. Now, I'm not saying every person who's ever claims to have had a visitation or been abducted or has seen a UFO, I'm not saying they're all real. But it lends credence to some of them because the Navy says that they're real. Our U.S. Navy said they're real. Those photos and videos are genuine. So we have to lend some credence now. For decades, pilots, military pilots, and other people around the world who have reported these things have lost their careers. So it was a serious thing to report these things. Well, now that it's out of the bag and the Navy says they're real, what about all those people that lost their careers because of it? Do they now get compensation? Do they now get their careers back? Are they now justified? And in that video, and I talked a bit about this a little bit in a current events thing. This opens up a can of worms, because thousands of people have been affected by this. Literally millions of people worldwide, but at least hundreds of thousands of people just in the U.S. And a lot of them have had their careers ruined. They've had their livelihoods taken away because of this, reporting this kind of thing. They've been shamed. They've been stigmatized. And it's not about it's not about, yeah, look, they were right. It's these people have been unjustly stigmatized. They have been wrongfully persecuted, for lack of a better word. Okay? You have 1,000 people thousands of people who have been, military people who've been taken off of flight lists because they can't be trusted. They're seeing weird things in the sky. Well, what if they're right? What if they did see them? This Navy announcement now justifies those. At least gives them some credence. You can't just dismiss them now. In that video I talked about the Phoenix Lights. Thousands of people saw that. And I didn't go really in-depth into what happened after that. But there was a city, I want to say she was a city councilwoman who was getting all kinds of calls and letters about this. Emails and things. And she brought it up at a meeting, and she was told to shh, don't say nothing, don't mention that. And then these calls and everything persisted, and she persisted. And so the governor of Arizona at the time made an announcement, and he says, "We found the culprit," and they brought some guy out dressed in a alien costume, and you guys are just taking this a little too seriously, And later on, he admitted that he was told to do that. He was pressured into doing that. Well, if we can't trust our own eyes, I mean, these people have been persecuted. All right? The Navy just now justified all of it with this announcement. Okay? The sun went behind some clouds. 1 second. Oh, that's a little better. Okay. The Navy justified that. Okay? All of that. So now, I'm going to use the Phoenix Lights as an example. This councilwoman and all of the people that called into her and wanted her to investigate, there's going to be some lawsuits over this, because the Navy just said, guess what? They might have been right. Forget the fact that they've got video of this mile-wide craft in the shape of a big V going right overhead, blocking out the stars. Forget they've got that. The Navy just now said, hey, they may be onto something. With this one message, the Navy just did that. The implications of this one announcement are staggering. Anybody who's ever looked into the night sky and saw something they couldn't explain, hell, you may have been right. Now, I'm not saying every light in the sky is a UFO. I mean, it may be Venus or, swamp gas or whatever other stupid explanation they come up with. They may be right. You don't know. But the fact that people were persecuted for saying, hey, I saw something I can't explain, now the Navy just justified them. All of them. Every single one of them. It's going to be a quagmire, I can guarantee you, because there's a lot of people who suffered over this over the years. For decades, they've been suffering for this. And now, let's not even get into the alien abductees, the people who say they've been taken by these aliens, and there's lots of them all over the world. And people go, well, those are just crazy people. Well, okay, say it's a hoax. Okay, say it's a hoax. That means it's a hell of a hoax, because check this out. In 89, 90, whatever it was, the end of the Cold War, right? The Berlin Wall came down. Slowly information started coming out from the old Soviet Union and places behind the Iron Curtain. Well, it turns out they had their own alien abductees, and they're given virtually the same stories as ours. This was from behind the Iron Curtain. Okay? None of these are fake. These are real interviews by Soviet officials, real information on file, records that were released. So now you've got not only American abductees, but Soviet abductees from behind the Iron Curtain during the Cold War. If you're going to go back and forth, find a channel of communication back and forth behind the Iron Curtain during the Cold War, you really think they're going to waste that on alien abductees? That's asinine. Okay, again, I don't want to take sides one way or the other on this, because I don't know. But the Navy just said these UFOs are real. Okay? Who am I to argue with the U.S. Navy? Okay? They just said their pilots encountered these UFOs and they're real. So, the other day Trump launched his Space Force. When I told my wife, who was sitting right over there on the couch, the other day I told her, hey, look, the Navy just said the NMS footage was real. And she said, oh my God, are we going to be invaded? Trump got a Space Force going. Or is that what it's for? It raises questions. It's one thing to protect our satellites and things like that in orbit. But he launched a Space Force, and now, what the hell? It raises questions. There's a man, Dr. Stephen Greer. I'm not a fan of his, but he has been pushing this project, this disclosure project, where he's been trying to get people to get in the government, because he's got all these witnesses and sources and everything in the military and in the government, and he's trying to get the government to come out and say this is what's going on with the UFOs. Well, I'm not a big fan of his, because I watched some of his other videos, and he kind of struck me as kind of But what if he's right? This Navy announcement that those UFOs were real changes everything. Literally changes everything. And I'm not talking from a religious standpoint, because you got those kooks out there who are saying, oh no, it can't be, because it gets rid of God. It undermines God. No, it doesn't. Universe is a big place. God made the entire freaking universe. Okay? You're telling me this is the only planet in the entire universe God saw fit to put life? That's asinine. Of course there's life out there somewhere. Okay? It's stupid. But it changes the dynamic of the questions now that can be asked. We know they're real. The Navy admitted it. Okay? We know that there's things flying around in our skies that our military can't touch. Should we be worried? Should we be concerned? Is there something now to worry about? Trump launched this Space Force. Are they there for a reason other than protecting our satellites? Are they there to protect us from the invading aliens? I know that sounds crazy, but think about the ramifications of this Navy announcement. It changes everything. Okay? I was joking around when I did the current events thing the other day, and I said, watch the skies. It's a really good, what was it? The Thing from Another World, 1950s, I think it was, black and white movie. Really good movie. James Arness plays the Gunsmoke dude. He plays the Thing. Really good movie. But at the end, the reporter's getting his scoop. He says, watch the skies. Well, maybe we should. Okay. These are questions that I'm not qualified to answer. Okay. But you folks have a good day. God bless one and all.